What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Dan, and I am back with another VBA playoff match. This time between the Boltund Bashers and the Worcester Stunfisks. Sorry, Curry, I probably butchered that again. The Bashers finished the season at 8-2 and missed off on a bye due to some tiebreaker issues, whereas the Stunfisks finished 6th in the very strong Kanto division with a 6-4 record. We are looking at a substantial match here. As I downloaded this file to commentate it, it took way too long to download, so I'm not sure how long I'm going to be commentating here, but it's going to be a long one. On the Stunfisks side, we see... I guess this is on the Basher side. We see... the Rillaboom and the Golurk, Altaria, Magmortar, Aerodactyl, and Magnezone. And on the Stunfisk side, we see Druddigon, Talonflame, Jellicent, Drapion, Amoonguss, and Luxray. Will this be the mythical choice band Amoonguss set that we always hear so much about but never see? I guess we're going to be finding out today. One thing to note is the Keyberry Aerodactyl and the Kebia Berry Rillaboom. I believe Kebia is the poison resist berry, and Keyberry will raise Aerodactyl's defense if it gets hit below 50%. So really interesting choices there. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the battle. Goomer versus Kyle. So one thing about the word goom, in boxing terminology, to goom someone is to knock them out in one punch. So we're going to see if there's going to be any gooming today. So we have Aerodactyl Magmortar leading off against Talonflame and Luxray. Intimidate will go off into both of the Pokemon on Goomer's side. And I think there's a bit of a threat here because Talonflame will get the Tailwind up before Aerodactyl if it wants to. And then Luxray should actually threaten the Aerodactyl with a substantial amount of damage if it wants to go for that. I do think a switch here might be prudent out of this Aerodactyl slot since it doesn't have Protect, because this Luxray could just pick it up right here. And we do see the Tailwind comes on out. Luxray will be going next, and it goes straight for the Wild Charge. Does it take out the Aerodactyl? It does not. I wonder if it was Calc to survive that, but that is a massive survive on behalf of the Aerodactyl. And then we see its defense going up. Well, it is at 3 HP, but it does set Sunny Day. He's going to be at a rather permanent speed disadvantage here, but this Heat Wave is going to do a substantial amount in the sun. It could even take out the Luxray at this point. Luxray doesn't have the best special defense, but Luxray survives. Goomer's going to be on the back foot here because he doesn't have the speed advantage and he doesn't have a great way to try and set it up. Any attack into that Aerodactyl works, so he can try to predict a switch with a not very effective attack into the Aerodactyl that would hit something like the Magnezone or the Altaria. This Luxray is going to be in pretty solid position though. The Magnezone will resist some hits, but the Magmortar is not going to like taking too much from this Luxray, although it will eat it decently well. But only as decently as you can eat an attack from this Luxray. Aerodactyl switches out. And then we have the berry being eaten before the switch with the citrus berry. Oh, because Unnerved got taken off the field. That makes sense. And Brave Bird comes on out directly into the Magmortar, deals about 50%. That is more than I thought it would do. That is a substantial amount. Magmortar's berry will trigger as well. 2 citrus berries have been consumed, and then a Snarl will come on out. That is a pretty sizable dent to the damage this Magmortar is going to do, and this Altaria is going to do. I didn't catch if that Altaria was Cloud 9 or not, but if it's Cloud 9, this is not going to do much damage at all, because the Sunny Day was set to increase the damage that Magmortar does. Magmortar's going to protect, and then this Altaria is going to be using a Breaking Swipe. Based on that damage, I don't actually think it's Cloud 9. Breaking Swipe will protect this Magmortar from additional Brave Birds by lowering the attack of the Talonflame. Talonflame goes right into the Protect here. Snarl comes on out one more time. It will reduce the special attack of this Altaria further. Breaking Swipe is a physical move, but it also doesn't have the highest base attack, and the base damage on Breaking Swipe is pretty low as well as spread. This is just going to be a mitigation tool, but it actually does pick up the Talonflame with a crit that likely mattered. What a turn of events here. Curry will still have the speed advantage, but he is running out of Tailwind turns. I don't know if there's going to be anything late game that Goomer's going to have to handle it, but this Dradagon is going to be a massive threat for this turn. If Altaria has Protect, it probably wants to click it right here. Going for a double on Magmortar seems incredibly risky. Switching out seems less than ideal as well, but the 3 HP on that Aerodactyl could be substantial in the late game here. Because if that Aerodactyl is able to get up a Tailwind after Tailwind expires on Curry's side, this game could turn around for Goomer, but I'd still say he's on the back seat with the Tailwind currently. That Breaking Swipe crit was huge, though, if it did matter. I don't know the calcs, but it felt like it mattered. He's not running out of time. Can he get the switch off in time? He does get the switch off in time. Altaria is switching into Magnezone. And we have another Snarl coming out. This Magmortar's damage potential is being crippled, and this Magnezone's damage potential is also going to start going down. This Luxray is putting in some substantial work right now, and Dragon Claw comes out. It's resisted by the Magnezone. But what can this Magmortar do at -2? The answer is not a lot into the Dradagon, but it does put the Luxray into range. But that burn is huge. Oh, the RNG is just everything's coming up Goomer today. Dradagon's damage output potential has just been significantly nerfed, and now his Tailwind is running out of turns. I'd say that Goomer has put himself into position with that burn and that crit to take advantage of the fact that the Talonflame has gone down for Curry and turn this game around. Because if he can get the speed advantage on that Dradagon and that Luxray, suddenly a switch out and the Magmortar could be doing significant damage. The Altaria's got some output potential. If Magnezone switches, it could also have some damage potential. He's just got to stall out this last turn of Tailwind, and it will be on. An Electro Web might be a play there if he doesn't expect a Ground-type move out of this Dradagon, because giving himself a speed advantage out of the gates would be huge, but the Protect is probably the safer play there. And then we do see that Luxray protects. And this Dradagon goes for a Dragon Claw into the Altaria spot. What a play. That burn is really hurting. It may have picked up the KO there without the burn. I can't tell because the Boltund Basher sign is in the way. Dradagon takes a little bit of damage from the burn, but more important is the neutered damage output potential. With Luxray at low HP and Dradagon burned, I don't know if he's going to have the damage to break this Magnezone without a Ground-type attack. And then we can see if this Altaria and Magmortar are going to be able to put out the damage necessary. His last Pokemon is revealed to be Amoonguss. Unless this thing is Choice Band, he is going to be struggling. Electroweb comes on out, deals negligible damage. He does crit the Dragon, but it's still negligible. Speed is falling. Altaria is going to get a Roost off. And while burned, this Altaria will not be going down to this Dradagon with this Dragon Claw unless there is a crit. There is not. Altaria can stall this out as long as it wants. The Amoonguss is going to be a potential problem spot here, though. What does he have to deal with Amoonguss? And can the Amoonguss keep the Luxray alive long enough to deal damage to everything? But Magnezone just looks like it hard walls everything that's on the field here. Unless this is something like Stomping Tantrum Amoonguss. Stomping Tantrum Amoonguss is Curry's only out right now. We do have the electric terrain being set. Spore will no longer matter. Oof. What a tech to counter this Amoonguss play. Altaria gets her Roost off. Goomer is going to try to squeeze the life out of Curry here, slowly but surely. Dragon Claw comes out again. it's not going to be doing enough. The Amoonguss has Sludge Bomb going directly into the Altaria. Can it pick up the KO? No, not quite, but it does throw off the Roost plan. But now this Magnezone at -1 is just going to be able to launch some free shots, and eventually I think this Magmortar comes in and cleans it up. He could sack the Aerodactyl here, get the Magmortar in for free, and then that might be good night. Oh, Rising Voltage is going to do so much damage, even at -1 and resisted. It is going to do substantially more damage than anything should, -1 and resisted. Electro Web might actually be the play, though, in case that Luxray switches in and you want to make sure you have the speed advantage with the Magmortar long term. Because Luxray is the only thing with a lot of damage potential right now. But a Rising Voltage might take out this Dradagon, and that could be all she wrote. Aerodactyl comes in for a quick sack. Rising Voltage comes on out. Does a substantial amount. Burn will take it out in 2 or 3 turns. Dragon Claw comes on out. Down goes Aerodactyl. What does Amoonguss have? A Sludge Bomb that goes into the Steel type. Dradagon may have 2 more attacks, but it could just have 1 more attack before it goes down. If this Magnezone is alive and able to Electro Web the Luxray, it will be all over because this Magmortar is going to be able to clean up with a speed advantage. What is the play from the Magmortar here? He's going for a clean overheat, just trying to set it to a 3v1 situation. That is a bold play. Personally, I think a Heat Wave could be warranted here. A Heat Wave plus a Rising Voltage into the Amoonguss, or just an Electro Web. I think Electro Web is always the safe play here until the Luxray has been effectively brought down to -1 speed. He does go for the Electro Web. Good. This will cover in any switch-ins, and then he's going to need to just cycle the Magmortar probably, and then he will be good to go. Although with how little HP that Luxray has, even at -1, an overheat, a -2, an overheat will likely take it out. Overheat comes on out, does not pick up the KO on this Amoonguss. Heat Wave is going to have to go to make sure that this thing... Oh, it does have Stomping Tantrum! What a play! And because it failed, but it gets burned. It does take out the Magmortar, though. Can this Luxray eat a single attack? I don't think it can, but we are in a situation to find out because this Stomping Tantrum Amoonguss is suddenly threatening the Magnezone. Intimidate comes out. It'll drop the power of that Breaking Swipe. I just don't know if Curry's left himself enough HP to deal with everything that the Bashers are going to throw out at him right now. Rising Voltage into this Luxray. Electro Web. Rising Voltage. Either decision could have implications depending on the sets, and we just don't know enough. But this Amoonguss might be able to take out the Magnezone if it gets a chance to attack. But a double up could also end the game on this turn right here. We have the Rising Voltage come on out. Does it pick up the KO on the Luxray? It does. Luxray goes down. He now has 2 turns to hit this Amoonguss to win the game. Altaria roosts up. Does Amoonguss have the ability to take out the Magnezone right now? And if so, can it win the 1v1 against Altaria? Amoonguss can't do it. The damage is just too low with the burn. Goomer is going to take a fantastic game 1 here. Breaking Swipe and Rising Voltage will combine to take out this Amoonguss before it gets another attack off. But what a game. What a set from Curry as well. But the RNG was definitely in Goomer's favor. A lot of this game, we've got flame body burns. We have a crit that likely mattered. It was rough to be on Curry's side of things for that one, and he still almost pulled it out. How will they adjust for Game 2? This is going to be an exciting game. It could be Curry's last game of the season, and Goomer is looking to move on to the semifinal rounds, where he will be the highest seed coming out of this first round, which would put him up against me in the quarterfinals. All right, let's see what Game 2 is going to look like. We've got Golurk and Aerodactyl in the lead, with Altaria in the back, and he's still not going to be bringing out that Rillaboom set. Magnezone put in substantial work, even at -1 this past game. Does he bring the Magnezone out again? Does he bring the Magmortar for its damage potential that seems so important into that Amoonguss, now that we know that the Amoonguss is much more offensive? Does he bring out the Rillaboom to threaten a pivot to Trick Room? Goomer is hesitating. He's thinking. He's thinking hard. He probably has a Dachshund barking at him. And he locks in. Curry's been locked in. He knows what he's doing. He is prepared for Game 2 with his season on the line. As the battle is loading in, we see Drapion and Luxray coming out. Drapion did not make an appearance in Game 1. Golurk did not make an appearance either. But this seems like such a good lead for Goomer. If this Golurk has Earthquake, something like Tailwind Earthquake is going to do substantial damage even through this Intimidate. It has high horsepower. He will only be able to target one of them, but it will still be a lot of damage into the target of his choice. Because Tailwind will make Golurk the fastest thing on the field, assuming it is not a min-speed Golurk, and some very fast options from either Luxray or Drapion. He is considering switching out to reset Intimidate set cooldowns. I'm not sure I agree with this play at all, but this is high-level VBA play. And he's switching back into high horsepower. High horsepower is looking like the play. He's got to pick a target. He targets the Drapion, and then he's going to switch out the Aerodactyl. Not get up the Tailwind here. Altaria comes on in. Altaria is in. Luxray protects. He targeted correctly into that Drapion. Drapion goes for the Night Slash, and he doesn't have the speed because of the lack of Tailwind. Golurk survives. He doesn't get the crit. High horsepower. Deals a substantial amount to Drapion, but it survives because of the damage done from Intimidate. A crit wouldn't have taken it out anyway because it is Focus Sash. What a play, what a tech actually against that Drapion, knowing that a Drapion crit takes it out no matter the bulk unless you're Focus Sash. I actually like that a lot. Aerodactyl comes on in. Unnerve is going to stop the Citrus Berry from being eaten by that Luxray, but the Luxray is going to switch out, and it's going to reset the ability to Intimidate. And the offensive Amoonguss comes on out. Night Slash goes into Aerodactyl, and he doesn't get crit again. Key Berry will raise the Aerodactyl's defense, and it is actually relevant this time. Breaking Swipe comes on out. Drapion survives! Drapion survives, but his attack falls. Amoonguss's attack also falls, but Amoonguss has access to Sludge Bomb. Rock Slide is going to come on out, followed by a Hurricane. Followed by a Fire Spin into the Amoonguss. Fire Spin tech. I don't think we've seen that this season from any Pokemon. But it's not going to hit the Amoonguss. It's going to instead hit the Luxray. Intimidate will drop Aerodactyl's attack. Will this Rock Slide connect? Oh, it won't matter. Night Slash comes out, and this is a Scarf Drapion. Drapion avoids the attack. Curry finally getting a little bit of RNG on his side. Luxray avoids the Fire Spin. What a turnaround. What a turnaround. Instead of a KO and a Fire Spin to Luxray, we've got a nearly full health Luxray, a Scarf Drapion that will get off at least one more attack. It's not crit Drapion, so I feel bad about calling that all RNG for not getting those crits earlier. But what is the play here, knowing that this Drapion is locked into Night Slash at this point? He can't safely switch anything in. A Rock Slide, trying to survive because the Aerodactyl is at +1 and the Drapion is at -1, unless he gets a crit. And a Moongus comes back in, preserving the 1 HP, it seems, Drapion. Rock Slide comes on out and does fairly negligible damage, but it does flinch the Luxray. What a combination of RNG. The attack on Luxray is going to fall. The attack on Amoonguss is actually relevant, and that's going to fall. The RNG swings have been insane this game, and Goomer might be back in the driver's seat to lock up his spot in the quarterfinals. Rock Slide is being considered. Tailwind is being considered. Dual Wing Beat is being considered. Sunny Day, probably not being considered. And we do have Baby Doll Eyes, which is the priority attack dropping move coming out of the Luxray to cripple this Aerodactyl even further. This Rock Slide will do nothing. Nothing. Except trigger a Citrus Berry if it switches out. Fire Spin on the Amoonguss. Not a lot of damage, but it does trap the Amoonguss, and Energy Ball comes on out. This is a 3-attack Amoonguss. Fire Spin's damage comes on out and deals more than Rock Slide or Fire Spin did initially. Aerodactyl is going to try and set Tailwind before it goes down. Fire Spin is going to be targeted this time into the Luxray. If he is able to trap both of these, then the Drapion cannot threaten the Golurk, and a Golurk switch-in is phenomenal. He is considering his options here. He could go for the Breaking Swipe again, really lowering the attacks of everything, making whatever he switches in pretty much get a free attack off, except the Golurk is going to be at such low health, I don't know if that's true. But with Tailwind up, Golurk will be able to get 1 attack off before it goes down, and Tailwind goes up. Fire Spin comes on out, and it does trap the Luxray. Snarl comes out. Luxray is completely okay with being trapped. This Altaria's damage potential drastically decreases from the negative value that it already had. Luxray is able to eat its Citrus Berry. It will heal up back into the green. Amoonguss goes for the Sludge Bomb play. It does a decent amount into the Altaria, and he gets the poison. The damage over time effect is going to be huge, but it is mitigated to some extent by the fact that this Altaria has access to Roost. The damage over time of Fire Spin is not being mitigated, and under Tailwind, this Golurk will be able to come in and pick up at least 1 KO. Magnezone could also come in at this point because nothing is able to really slow it down except for the Snarls on this Luxray. Golurk will want to take out Luxray, but Luxray has shown that it has the desire to protect in front of Golurk, and Amoonguss could take it out. So there is the argument for taking out this Amoonguss as well. What is he going to target with the Golurk? 2 seasons swing in the balance here. Does he target the Amoonguss? Does he target the Luxray? He's back and forth between them. He's going to high horsepower into the Amoonguss, it looks like. He selects it, and the Altaria is switching out into the Magnezone, which will have a speed advantage. Altaria switches on out. Does he protect the Luxray here? Does this high horsepower go off? High horsepower goes off. Does it pick up the KO on the Amoonguss? It does. Amoonguss goes down. Luxray launches a Snarl. Golurk faints. Oh no. With this Luxray just being able to launch free Snarls, could Curry have retaken control of this game? There is not anything that is threatening damage on this Luxray outside of Fire Spin currently, and this Dradagon is coming back out. The Altaria is in danger. There is another Pokemon in the back in the form of that Scarf Drapion. This is looking like a rough situation for Goomer. Breaking Swipe can attempt to take something down. Electric Terrain can attempt to do some can attempt to set up for a rising voltage in the future. But this Luxray is just going to be able to start snarling everything. With a breaking swipe, it is possible that the Altaria survives this Dragon Claw, but I don't actually believe it will. This Dradagon, without being burned, is going to do a substantial amount of damage. Electro Web, he's already got the speed advantage. Will he be going for the Electro Web? He does go for the Electro Web to try and maintain it after Tailwind ends. And he switches out the Dradagon. What a play. This will sack the Drapion. Dradagon will come back in with Tailwind expired and have the speed advantage on this Altaria, so Breaking Swipe won't be able to drop its attack. Great sacrifice switch from Curry. Breaking Swipe comes on out. Luxray takes a little bit of damage. Luxray takes more than a little bit of damage due to the crit. Luxray's attack falls, but it is just still going to be going for these snarls, trying to make sure that this Magnezone and Altaria are not going to be able to do major damage to it. Dradagon comes on out. I don't actually know if Tailwind expired or not. I may have spoken too early on that. Even a Breaking Swipe, this Dradagon will be going down, or this Altaria will be going down to a Dradagon Dragon Claw if it connects even through Breaking Swipe. But the question is, what does he have to deal with this Magnezone? Is Magnezone's Bolt going to be too much for the Dradagon to handle? Even though it is at -2 at this point, its damage output is also limited. We may be going for a very weird timery situation here from the Timer King and actually the two Timer Kings this season. Players that like playing to timer will play to timer. Electric terrain gets set. Rising voltage damage has drastically increased. Breaking Swipe comes on out. This Dradagon will have its attack lowered. Luxray will survive. Will Luxray get another Snarl off? Dradagon's Dragon Claw will take out the Altaria at this point. Altaria goes down and it is now a 2v1. Luxray gets a Snarl off. Magnezone's special attack is decreased even further. Its damage output is going to be negligible. Tailwind expires. Dradagon should have the speed advantage now. Is Rising Voltage enough to take out this Dradagon? He goes for the Luxray first. Luxray protects. What a huge play on Curry's part. Magnezone is still faster than the Dradagon. Dradagon will get 2 attacks off here. It launches a Dragon Claw that does 36 damage, so it will take 3 more Dragon Claws to kill this Magnezone. Can this Magnezone kill the Dradagon in time? A target into the Dradagon there may have locked the game. Rising Voltage should take out this Luxray, even at -3. Dradagon gets... No! Luxray survives! Luxray survives, and Dradagon gets the crit. This will lock it up for Curry in Game 2, and we are going to be heading to a Game 3. What a set so far. Wild RNG swings. 2 1 HP survives, it looks like, on Curry's behalf that game. And we are moving into a Game 3 between the Timer Master and the Timer Master of the 2 different divisions. Buckle up, folks. We could be in for a long one, as the players will be deciding whether or not to try and take their opponent to timer. I kid, of course, but the size of this file makes me think it might actually happen. Curry takes a moment to think about what team he's going to use, then realizes he has to use the same team. Altaria comes on out, and we have a perspective change. We are seeing it from Curry's side, and that Dradagon is banded. That is Assault Vest Amoonguss. The Scarf Drapion call was correct. Chardy Talonflame. And we are going to be hopping into Game 3. Curry, sporting the signature look, the hoodie with the headphones on the outside. Is there a dog nearby, or a cat, or some other animal that he can flex on screen? The world may never know until he is locking up a game. He's sitting there pensively, wondering what Goomer will be locking in for. So the game plan here has to be to eliminate that Golurk again, because Golurk is doing so much into so much of this team. And with Assault Vest, I'm curious about the fourth move on that Amoonguss. The sacrifice of Spore and Rage Powder seems huge in this matchup, seeing that there are no safety goggles on Goomer's side and he has not been bringing Rillaboom. Electric Terrain mitigates that to some extent, but Rage Powder just seems like it would be such a big play. Will it cost him in this game? The combatants are loading into game number 3, and let's see what the leads are. We've got Altaria Rillaboom. Rillaboom makes its first appearance, leading against Jellicent and Luxray. Rillaboom is looking ready to absolutely eviscerate this Jellicent, except this Intimidate from the Luxray may give Jellicent just enough HP to survive. Will this Jellicent go for a Trick Room? Will it go for an attack? Does it want to eat a Grassy Glide? No, he does not want to eat the Grassy Glide. He's going to be switching directly into... He's going to be protecting. He's going to be protecting. I have been faked out. Much like this Luxray is about to be. Although Grassy Glide play here does make sense as well. We will see what the combatants choose to do. Jellicent goes for a Protect. Luxray gets a Baby Doll Eyes off. This Rillaboom is at -2. He probably needs to switch out at this point. But he goes for Drum Beating into the Jellicent and not Grassy Glide. Breaking Swipe will lower the attack of this Luxray, but it is in a very support-oriented situation currently. Will Goomer go for the Rillaboom switch, or will he be going for a different play entirely? He will be going for... Curry will be going for a Trick Room, and then another Baby Doll Eyes at -3. This Rillaboom should not be taking out this Jellicent, even with the additional chip. So he will get up Trick Room. But will it matter with Magnezone coming out? Baby Doll Eyes will do very little into a special Magnezone. Trick Room will go up, but Fire Spin will keep the Jellicent on the field. Fire Spin has become disabled. Trick Room goes up. How much is this Magnezone threatening this Jellicent here? We know that Jellicent has Protect. Does he call a Protect? Does Protect get played for? Is Electric Terrain the play? Fire Spin hurts the Jellicent. He does not go for the Protect. He is going straight for the Scald. Into the Magnezone. And we are getting this Assault Vest Amoonguss onto the field. Assault Vest Amoonguss is a pretty solid counter to this Magnezone set. Scald comes on out, and it deals a decent chunk of damage to the Magnezone, and he gets the burn. Breaking Swipe comes on out. It's a physical set on Amoonguss some of the time, so that actually matters. And he does set the Electric Terrain. He is now threatening a massive Rising Voltage. He probably called the Protect there, but now it might be the turn to protect this Jellicent. Will he call the Protect again, or will he target into the Jellicent with a Rising Voltage? Jellicent is bound, so he can't switch out. He either has to Protect or attack, obviously. Foul Play is the last move on the Amoonguss. Amoonguss is going for this Stomping Tantrum to try and take out the Magnezone here. It actually might, because it is not burned this time. Goomer is thinking through this play. This is a crucial turn in this game. Momentum can swing one way or another because it is a very, very tight match at this point. Jellicent uses Protect. Does Magnezone target into it? Magnezone also protects. He calls the Protect play. He avoids the Stomping Tantrum damage. Now the question is, will this Magnezone survive a Stomping Tantrum? Because he avoids the Hurricane. Magnezone likely needs to switch out at this point and cannot just go for the Rising Voltage to take out the Jellicent. It is too risky to go for this Rising Voltage, because if this Magnezone is not min speed, both of these things will underspeed it, and this will just be a clean KO. A switch into a Flying type here would be ideal. Or a Rillaboom switch actually doesn't look bad either. Probably a Rillaboom switch would be the best play here. Rillaboom comes on out. There's a double target into that slot, but can he get another burn with Scald? Stomping Tantrum comes on out. This will not be doing a lot into a Rillaboom. Will Scald burn? It does not. Rillaboom lives to talk another day, and now he is threatening Grassy Glide again. But he is stalling out the Fire Spin turns very effectively. Jellicent may be able to switch out pretty soon. Can this Rillaboom take it out this turn? Will he call Protect once again? What is his plan for dealing with this Amoonguss, which is the threat on the field? Altaria can go for another Hurricane, but chooses not to this past turn. Will he go for it this time? Protect. Foul play into the Rillaboom. I don't know if that does more than Sludge Bomb, but we are going to find out. Goomer thinking through his turn once again. Playing to timer already. Goomer is playing to timer already. The crowd is cheering. The badge is in the background. Is Goomer looking for the Goom? No, he switches out the Altaria. He will not be going for Hurricane this turn. Magnezone will make another appearance on the field. Jellicent does go for the Protect. Did he call the Protect again, or did he go for Drum Beating? He fakes out into the Amoonguss, gets the free switch in. Amoonguss recovers HP with the Grassy Terrain. Grassy Terrain is going to be a substantial healing factor for all of these Pokemon. Magnezone's burn will deal a negligible amount of chip damage, but Trick Room is over. This Rillaboom is in great position to threaten anything that switches into that Jellicent slot, because he needs to switch something in. And he goes for Sludge Bomb instead of Foul Play this turn. Maybe Sludge Bomb will deal more damage. World may never know. Goomer making his timer plays. Jellicent comes back. Luxray gets switched in. Intimidate goes off, but this Luxray will be taking even a -1 Grass type attack, will be doing a substantial amount. Drum Beating does a decent amount of chip and drops the speed of Luxray. Electro Web will further drop the speed of everything. Rillaboom will maintain a speed advantage, and now the Magnezone will also have a speed advantage. Will he be able to double up the KO this Luxray next turn? Probably not after the berry is consumed. Rillaboom's berry is also consumed. But that does substantial damage even through the berry. It looks like it could be in KO range. Kibia is the poison resist berry. I knew what I was talking about all these long minutes ago. It's a very defensive battle at this point. Every hit matters. We never know where the chip's going to come from, what's going to be able to be, what's going to fall. Baby Doll Eyes into the Rillaboom will completely neuter its damage output. Sludge Bomb could take it out. Magnezone, however, will get a pretty free attack off if it wants it. Everything resists electric, so maybe it needs to set the electric terrain first. And he's probably wary of Snarl as well. Magnezone goes back. Magmortar comes on out. Magmortar is looking awesome on this field as there is not a Snarl being targeted. Rillaboom comes out for a double switch into the Altaria. Magmortar is the fastest thing on the field. Baby Doll Eyes comes on out, but it doesn't matter. Sludge Bomb will go off into Altaria. It will deal a decent chunk of damage. But now there is a Magmortar on the field. We have the Assault Vest Amoonguss that will be able to eat at least one attack. But a Heat Wave here is still going to be substantial damage. He's going to have to Snarl. Amoonguss is going to switch out to try and preserve some health. Jellicent will be coming in. Goomer thinking through his play. What could happen? This is truly anyone's game. He might actually be making a timer play at this point. I was joking earlier, but that could be a legitimate strategy. Jellicent comes on out. Heat Wave will get some chip on the Jellicent and some chip on this Luxray. Does more than I thought it would onto the Jellicent. Breaking Swipe comes on out. Luxray's damage potential has been neutered again. Luxray will go into Citrus Berry range. Cursed Body will disable the Breaking Swipe. Luxray already ate its berry. I'd forgotten about that. Snarl comes out. Magmortar's special attack will fall. Altaria's special attack will fall. Nothing has special attack anymore. Without access to Breaking Swipe, Altaria only has special attacks. This is truly anyone's game at this point. Wild Charge through Breaking Swipe might do it to this Magmortar. We've got a double up coming into the Magmortar slot. A Heat Wave plus Wild Charge recoil might actually be enough to take down this Luxray, and if we do have a timer game, this could be an issue in terms of Mon counting at the end. Magmortar goes for Thunderbolt. Does it take out the Jellicent? No, Jellicent survives. Huge survival. Fire Spin comes on out into the Luxray. It does almost no damage. Strength Sap will heal this Jellicent back up. If he had targeted into the Jellicent with a Hurricane and taken it out, that could have been huge. But now Jellicent is back up to about half HP. Wild Charge comes on out into the Magmortar. It does not do much, but he takes some chip damage. Fire Spin will deal some damage. This Luxray might not be long for this world. Trick Room will try to be set. Can it set through a Thunderbolt and a double up? This is a tense game. Up until this point, we have two coaches. No Pokemon have fainted. Most Pokemon have relatively high HPs remaining. It has been a positional battle. The Magmortar will protect. He will allow the Trick Room to go up. But he will be trapping both Pokemon on there. Jellicent takes literally 3 damage from that Fire Spin. Altaria gets snarled again. Jellicent will get the Trick Room up, and now this Magmortar is in trouble. Even with these two trapped on the field, the Jellicent is threatening it with a Scald. The Fire Spin damage dealing exactly 25 damage to this Jellicent. Jellicent will only survive 3 turns of Fire Spin unless it gets another Strength Sap off. But it needs to go for Scald this turn into the Magmortar. Goomer, thinking through his play, the hopes of Johto Division resting on his shoulders, the weight of the world upon his brow. I have been talking for 45 minutes straight. I should have had a water with me. Rillaboom comes on out. Grassy Surge will trigger. Luxray gets a Snarl off. This Rillaboom is in great position if it has access to Grassy Glide, and we do not know if it does or not. Will Rillaboom get burned? It does not get burned. Altaria is able to roost up. If this Rillaboom has Grassy Glide, it can just keep threatening this Jellicent, because Jellicent can't protect while it's taking damage from Fire Spin consistently, or else it will go down. Grassy Terrain will heal it, though, out of Fire Spin. It will now take 5 turns of Fire Spin to take it out, so Fire Spin damage will no longer take it out, assuming Grassy Terrain continues to heal it. Jellicent will go down to 62 HP. It heals 13 per turn, so it will go back up to... It heals 12 per turn, so it will go up to 74 next turn, then 49. So it will take multiple turns. Does he have an answer for this Rillaboom, or is the positioning just too strong on this Rillaboom? Rillaboom does not appear to have Grassy Glide. Baby Doll Eyes goes into the Protect. Strength Sap goes into the Protect. Altaria goes for Breaking Swipe. Just that little bit of chip to try to counteract the Grassy Terrain damage. Can he successfully stall out the Trick Room? No Pokemon have fainted, and we are many, many turns into this game. Luxray goes down. Jellicent goes down to 37 HP. This Dradagon under Trick Room might be exactly what Curry was trying to set up. He's got some substantial damage output potential now. What will he be going for? A Dragon Claw could take out this Altaria. A Fire Punch will take out this Rillaboom. A Strength Sap should target the Rillaboom most likely. Curry's checking the sets. Min Speed Amoonguss. He goes for the Dragon Claw into the Rillaboom. He goes for Strength Sap. Into the Altaria. Altaria switches out. Magnezone comes on in. Dragon Claw comes on out. Does it get the KO with Choice Band? It does. Rillaboom goes down. Strength Sap will heal up this Jellicent. Fire Spin will no longer be a threat to kill it, even though it will continue to chip it for 25 a turn. Three minutes left until battle ends. We are in a timer game. We are in a timer game. I don't know who's got the advantage in timer right now. They all have 3 Mons with probably pretty similar percentage of HP remaining. I would say Curry is slightly ahead currently in the timer battle. He's Choice Band locked into Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw will come into the Magmortar. No, he will switch out the Dradagon to try and get a Stomping Tantrum available. Scald will be launched into the Magmortar. This Magmortar is pink. It doesn't know what's going on. It protects. Magmortar protects. 2 minutes left until the end of the battle. We are coming down into the back stretch here. Rising Voltage will come on out. Is this going to be enough without the Electric Terrain? It is not quite enough. Jellicent is going to disable the Rising Voltage. Cursed Body is putting in work. It will go up to 26 HP. If it is Fire Spin, it will take it down to 1 HP. It will survive with 1 HP after Fire Spin damage. It does not have Fire Spin. Fire Spin is expired. This Amoonguss threatens everything on the field, but Trick Room is over. It is also being threatened by this Magmortar. Magmortar can Thunderbolt the Jellicent. It can Heat Wave to try and take out both of them. It could also switch out as a defensive play. This Jellicent is at low enough HP that Goomer is likely favored in a timer battle at this point. Jellicent is protecting. He is trying to preserve him on to make sure that he keeps it up. We have less than a minute to go. Electro Web will come on out. This Amoonguss will take just very marginal trip. Its speed will fall. We are under 45 seconds. Overheat comes on out for a lot of damage into this Amoonguss, but it won't take it out. Magmortar special attack falls harshly. I think Goomer is in the driver's seat if this is the last turn of the battle, because that does not do enough damage into the Magmortar. Goomer has to survive another 30 seconds, and I think he will be advancing. It is so close, though. It is so close. All of these extra effects. Is this actually the last turn of the battle? Are the extra effects going to take us to time? They'll be able to select another move, but I don't know if another move will go off. Burn damage comes out. The grassy terrain disappears from the battlefield. And time expires just before they get to the selection phase. I think that was the last turn. I think Goomer will be advancing in a timer battle where there were 3 Pokemon left on each side by the end of it. What a fantastic battle. Good games to both Goomer and Curry. Goomer, we will be seeing you in the quarterfinals. Welcome to the VBA, and we are having a fantastic playoffs.